Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Altitude Sickness Podcast. This is episode 15. I am Tony, and I am being joined by Drew and Matthew. How are we all doing after quite a roller coaster week of Rockies baseball?
I was better, and now I'm not. Just kidding, I'm fine. It was a good week. It was a good week. We showed some progress. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I have a quite nice cash out offer on my Rockies win total already, which I really want to take, but I'm just gonna ride it out.
Yeah,
for fun.
it's fair.
If they don't get 52 wins, then I don't want the money.
Yeah,
To be
that's
honest.
fair.
So
That's fair. At
yeah,
that point, we deserve to lose it. Yeah.
yeah, getting walked off twice in a row against the Padres was just
That's
fun.
killer.
It's
But
a bit demoralizing.
The Rockies are what 6-10.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. They're 1 win away from my happy win total in April.
Yeah, and we're
True.
we're not even 2 weeks into April, so we still got plenty of time to win one more game. So, and I think we should be able to do that. Just the way we're playing, like we'll talk about it later. But even that sweep at the hands of the godforsaken Padres, I would argue one of those games was not competitive, and I don't even really like the offense didn't show, but I don't blame the pitching too much because they got thrown into it when Freeland got taken out before the game even started with shoulder soreness or whatever it was.
And even though they're 6-10, a positive outlook is that they've only really had like two not competitive baseball games.
I would say I think two. It's the first one against the Phillies, and then yesterday's game against the Padres.
Which in 16 baseball games for the Rockies.
Yeah,
they were probably already at 15 by this point last season.
exactly.
So the fact that it's two, it means they actually have some grit.
Yeah,
which is uncharted territory for this team in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and yesterday the bullpen was completely winded.
Yeah,
the fact that they had already gone through over a week of pitching and then sprung up on another bullpen day on Sunday with Freeland being out.
And thank the Lord that during the Astros series our starters were going a lot of innings, and then Senza and Dollander were eating innings. So thank the Lord that we used probably 5 relievers in that entire series. So,
yeah. Who knows if those first 2 games might have not even been competitive if not for us having a really solid series against the Astros.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's it. All builds on itself. And again, I think this is something that just would not happen last year. I mean, I think the bullpen would have been winded by the Astros series, and then we would have just been absolutely destroyed in every game against the Padres. But before we even talk any baseball stuff, as we have just talked a little bit of it, news broke, I guess, it was like on Friday or Thursday or something last week, about the Broncos owners, or the owner group, part of the ownership group of the Denver Broncos, bought 40% of a minority stake in the Rockies. And so this is the first major shakeup of ownership happening, I think it said since 2005, which was when the Monforts took pretty much major priority over all things Rockies. And so, I mean, that's huge. It's kind of weird because it kind of just came out of nowhere too. Like I remember just happening to open Twitter, and there was just like multiple things popping up that Rockies sell 40% stake to the Walton family. I'm like, what? When did this happen? And there was just there was like no noise about it before. There were no rumblings or anything. Even though it says here in the Denver Post article, it says that negotiations between the Monforts and Penner have been ongoing for months. And so this has been happening for a while, which obviously it has to be happening. That's not something that just happens, especially for someone that is so protective of his team like Monfort is. And so I mean, that's pretty huge. And as from all I can tell, a lot of people I think are pretty happy with this decision. I mean, obviously the whole sell the team crowd is probably happy because it's like, oh, you're selling a part of the team here. And that might open it up to maybe later down the line him being more willing to even sell more of it. But I mean, again, it being 40%, I think that's about $600 million, which, if I ever take crap for spending $20 to go to a Rockies game, these people just spent $600 million to own them. So, like, I'm never, I'm not the sucker here. but but yeah, like, I mean, I don't really, it's hard to say what this will do just because right now, again, rebuilding team, they're not going to be spending a lot of money like with on-field product right now. But a big reason for this acquisition, it appears, at least from Monfort, is that this was a debt resolving acquisition thing, like deal, where a lot of the debt that the Rockies were in is going to be hopefully cleared up by this. And so that's huge. And so they can actually start doing other things. Also, I mean, off the field stuff, which is good, is the Walton family has been big on the for the Broncos at least, fixing up the stadium because, like, Mile High is an old stadium, and they've been doing nothing but renovations. They fix the playing field like every year apparently when they don't need to. They just want to make sure that it's like the best. And then on top of that, they're building their own stadium for the Broncos, which is self-funded. Like, it's not being funded by anyone else other than them, which just shows how wealthy they are. But, like, I mean, that's just how seriously they take stuff like this. And so I'm not foreseeing, a complete revamp of Coors Field, but at the same time, Coors is an old stadium. It's I think right now the third oldest in the NL. I think only Wrigley and Dodger Stadium are older, which is insane because it's still, one of the best ballparks in the league. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not on the sell the team group. Sometimes it may sound like I am, but I'm not. However, they're talking. I remember Walker Monfort talking in the offseason, like, where they're spending their money, and a lot of it was renovations to Coors, and so that getting cleared out, and something that the Rockies may not consider a debt, but I certainly consider it a debt, is Chris Bryant's contract, because that is the most depreciated. He is the depreciating assets of all depreciating assets.
Yeah,
I think buying a car would bring more value than Chris Bryant at this point. So even though, like, to them in this investment, Chris Bryant's contract is so small, I think in terms of Dick Monfort's spending, I think it does a huge deal. So I told you guys earlier, like, Chris Bryant's contract alone takes up a ton of the Rockies' entire payroll for the year, which is just kind of nuts because he's not going to have an at-bat all year. So I know Dick Monfort doesn't like to spend, and I don't really expect him to spend that much given the team he has right now and the situation they're in. But this at least frees him up in the opportunity that, like, let's be optimistic and say the Rockies, let's just say they win 65 games. Very unlikely. Still, like, who knows, right? They're on pace for 60 right now. But let's say they win 65 and they want to go out and get a guy. Now, even though Dick Monfort doesn't like to spend, there's a lot of that money there's a lot of stuff that's already being paid for by somebody else that he may be more open to those ideas. And a complete hypothetical that I have, now it could be completely wrong. This is just a guess. But I wonder if DePodesta and some of the new guys in the front office that may have pushed Dick Monfort to be open to selling some stake, because I feel like Bill Schmidt would have just been like, no, Dick Monfort, stay, please, like, keep all of it.
Yeah.
But I wonder, it's interesting that this happened now.
Yeah.
That there's front office changes, that there's team changes, there's a whole kind of identity change with the team. That if any of the front office guys even just put it in his head, like, hey, this is probably a good idea, And I'm wondering if that moved the needle at all. Personally, and I have absolutely no right to say this, but I think it might have. But that was just something that crossed my mind whenever this happened, is if that was a possibility.
I think that's a good point. I mean, there's no telling if that's the case, but I could definitely see that at least being a factor. I mean, it seems like Walker Montfort's also had a much bigger voice, at least from the start of this year. So I wonder if he might have had something to do with that as well. At least, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, maybe this might be a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've seen Walker so far, and I think he's kind of helped the Monfort name in the last, 8 months or so.
Yeah.
So I think the Monfort name is trending upward in Denver instead of downward as it was going previously. So I think he's doing a pretty good job so far.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Yeah, I think that's all we know as of now with this stuff. I'm sure more details will probably come out at some point, or if what debt's being paid off, or if they do something about the Bryant contract and all that stuff, and we'll keep everything updated as time goes on. But why we're here mainly is the on-field product. That's the more fun sometimes part of the process. And this week, like I said in the opener, it was quite it's what's the term? Whiplash, I guess. There was a lot of whiplash, it felt. Just because
roller coaster. We hit the high and the low of the entire season in a week.
Yes. Exactly. And so to start with the high, at least, we get to start with the high. So the Rockies, after losing the series to Philadelphia, to the Phillies, but they took that last game on last Sunday. They host the Houston Astros, who going into the series had the best offense in baseball, and I think they still currently have scored the most runs in the league. And the Rockies absolutely dominated the series. They outscored them 23-9, and 7 of those runs I think were in one game. Were in the first game. They held the best offense in baseball to only 9 runs in 3 games at Coors Field. Specifically, Yordan Alvarez, who was, he's very early on, but he's probably the front runner for the AL MVP currently, and he had 1 hit, I think, in 3 games at Coors, and so it was kind of insane. And the big reason and a big thing for it, obviously, with 23 runs, the offense was just honestly clicking like crazy. It was honestly nice to see. It was one of the best, probably the best I have personally seen in at least the last 4 years of at bat to at bat. The Rockies actually taking good at bats and not just going up there swinging just out of swinging at everything, actually taking pitches, making the pitchers work. And I was like, wow, this is what it must be like to watch a team that's actually good. And it was honestly great. It was so fun because at bat to at bat, I was looking forward to who's going to do it next. And the bullpen was great. The starters were decent. Feltner kind of got roughed up a little bit, but Sagano. Oh wait, no, Sagano was on. He was against the Phillies. I think it was. Who pitched? Was it Freeland? It would have been Freeland.
I think.
Was it Freeland and Lorenzen pitched against the Astros?
Lorenzen did pitch against the Astros because he got that second start at home, and it was good.
Yeah.
Sagano had the first game, I think. He pitched against the
Phillies. Yeah, I don't remember. It's so long ago.
It was Freeland. Freeland.
Well, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure everyone. I think, like I said, Feltner kind of got roughed up a tiny bit, but Lorenzen and Freeland were pretty decent, and then the bullpen was lights out. I think the bullpen was absolutely lights out. And overall, it was one of the best played series the Rockies have had in probably the last 3 years, and it was just fun to watch.
I can attest because it has been 3 years. That was the most fun I think I've ever had as a Rockies fan.
Yeah,
was this 4-game stretch. I don't think I've ever had more fun And I literally thought, we're going to the World Series.
Yeah.
This is over.
I did find it very funny. I don't know if you guys were like on like social media that much during that stretch. Like after the Rockies swept the Astros, like people that were not Rockies fans were like jumping on the bandwagon, being like, this team is actually good. Like, what's going on? Multiple other baseball podcasts that I listen to that are national baseball podcasts were like talking about like, should we be actually talking about the Rockies? So naturally, the moment that they get the spotlight, they crash and burn because that's just what they do. But yeah, no, I found it really funny how all of a sudden, like, it took just them getting to 500 for people to talk about them in anything other than a negative light, and I just found that hilarious.
Yeah. I've been a Rockies sicko. This is now my fourth season. And again, this is the first time that they've ever been 500. And mind you, all that would require is for them to start 1-0. That's it.
Yeah.
Or 1-1. That's all that it would require.
Yeah.
But they have started out 0-2 every time, and I've never been able to fight back. So I was sending all the group chats that I'm in, like the Rockies are so back, they've never been more back. And so it was really exciting. It was a breath of fresh air that I've never had before since cheering on this team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you got anything, Matthew, on that?
I've got some new followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's how it goes.
We are part of Rocky's Twitter. So when it starts popping off, we'll be there.
Yeah, it's true. And then unfortunately we had to make the trek to San Diego, where and I think I've said this before. We are a anti-Padres podcast. I do not like them. We don't like the Dodgers and we don't like the Padres. Those are the two.
Disclaimer.
We do not like them. Unfortunately, it really stunk because, again, so they get swept in a 4-game series too, which just really hurts. In the first 2 games, I mean, those are just brutal losses. They hurt because they were walk-offs. The first one was in 12 innings. And it was Xander Bogaerts on a grand slam. I mean, that it's just brutal. Like the Rockies had multiple chances to score and should have honestly probably won that game. But the offense went cold at the worst times. The pitching was good. They let up 7 runs, but I mean, one of them was on the last pitch of the game, so 4 of them were on the last pitch of the game. And so it's pretty brutal, those losses. And then the third game they lose, I think 9-5. No, 7-3, something like that. It was something like that. It may have been 8-4, whatever it was. We had the tying run actually come up to the plate in Ezekiel Tovar as the last at-bat of the game. And unfortunately, I mean, I love Ezekiel Tovar. I love him to death. He has got to figure out the low and outside pitch. Like, he's got to realize that that's what pitchers are going to do against him. And until he stops swinging at it every time, they're going to keep doing it. And so, unfortunately, he didn't see a strike in that at-bat, and yet he struck out. And then the last game, I mean, Freeland was supposed to start, and then he got pulled before he could even go in. So it had to be another bullpen day, and they just got winded very fast. They were winded already because of playing, 13 days in a row without an off day. And, I mean, they were just not going to do well. And the offense also just did not show up at all outside of a 2-run double from Brett Sullivan. That was pretty much the only offense they had all day. And yeah, it was kind of chalk that last day. But I think that was one of 2 bad losses on the year, is what I would argue. But yeah, overall, not a fun series. I mean, it's not fun to get swept. But when 3 of the 4 games were close, and compare that to, I think about this time last year, the Rockies went to San Diego, and if you guys remember, that was the perfect sweep. That was where we got swept without scoring a run in the series. So the fact that we had 3 of 4 games be competitive with at least some solid offense, I could be more angry at a 4-game sweep. I think. So.
And it's so killer that it was a 4-game sweep.
Yeah.
Because on paper, it looks awful. It looks like we got completely destroyed, but really, it just was not the case.
Like, two of them being walk-offs makes it, like, the fact that you took this is going to be a playoff team, like the Padres. They will be a playoff team. You made them have to go down to the last at-bat twice against you. So, like, I'm not really too mad about that. And then even then, you made them kind of shaky on the third game. But that's just how it goes sometimes.
I was sick, and for the Central Time Zone folks that we are, the game starts at 8:40.
Yeah.
And at 12:38 a.m., Xander Bogaerts just rips my heart out.
Yeah.
My fiance is asleep next to me, and I am just in pain.
Yeah.
And knowing that, I have to wake up in 5.5 hours. That was brutal. I hate of course, the longest game of the Rockies probably entire season
is on
a game that starts at 8:40 p.m.
Yep. Why can't it be?
And they lose. Now, if they won, I probably wouldn't have been able to go to sleep anyway.
Yeah.
But it was especially to extend the longest win streak that was in the MLB currently.
Yeah. It was a brutal.
That would have been insane.
And be above 500 for the first.
That's what
farthest
sucks.
into the season, being above 500. Like there were stakes. This was probably the highest stakes game that the Rockies have had in years.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have been second in the division by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know that's not going to matter, and the Rockies won't finish second. But the fact that they were there at one point with more than like one game played.
Yeah. Other than them being 1-0.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a lot riding on that game, and it was a gut punch. But like now that we're a few days out, we got swept. Whatever. We're 6-10. We're still better than we were last year,
mm-hmm.
and we're about to play an opponent that we just swept last week.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yep. I would say overall, like I think in the moment yesterday when we were just getting destroyed, luckily I had the Masters to watch, so I was at least a little happy because like I was down bad yesterday watching the game because it was just chalked from the gate. And like I was just like, dude, this team's awful again. Like, what are we doing? Like, why can't we just ever be good? But like, obviously, I think like on a night's sleep and a day's thought, like I can't be too mad with only one of those games really being bad. Like, I was pretty happy with the overall product that the Rockies had. And we'll talk about a little bit who's hot and who was good in that series and then who's unfortunately not. But I can't be too mad. And the offense for the most part was solid, I would say. Because, again, the San Diego has a pretty solid pitching staff. And it's hard to hit in Petco. So, like, I don't mind. Like, the last game was kind of brutal, only having 2 hits, I think, in the whole game. But sometimes you're just going to have games like that. And so the other games, them scoring at least 4 runs, I think, in each of them was, like, good. I guess the second game, it was, like, 2. We lost, like, 5-2 because it was a walk-off 3-run home run by Gavin Sheets. But, yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the results. And, again, I mean, think about it this way. If the Rockies go 3-4 every single week of the season, they will be nowhere close to what their record was last year. Like, they will be below 500, but not by anywhere near as many. So, like, 3-4, I'm taking that. That's a win in the Rockies' books, I think, for, like, for a week's, like, games. And so, but, So yeah, we'll get into the who's hot and who's not. So this is since last week. So since last Monday's podcast. So since the 6th of April, 2026. And I think that's just how I'm going to do the who's hot and who's not, because that way you just see who's hot during the weeks. I feel like that's a good way to do it. And I mean, making his appearance for the second straight week and pretty much been the most consistent and best hitter on the Rockies since coming back from injury is Mickey Moniak. He has been very good for the Rockies in this last week. He batted 240, 259, 600 for an 859 OPS with 3 home runs and 7 RBI. Like, the average is not super high, but like he's slugging like crazy. He doesn't walk like at all, but like if he's still if he's hitting the home run, that's kind of all that matters with him, because he's a big thumper in our lineup right now. He's the 3-hole. Like, our offense, I mean, you saw us in the Miami series. Like, it was not fun to watch because we just didn't have that pressure in the middle of the lineup. And so now having him back, I mean, it's been great. Especially when we can get back to some games playing at Coors Field. Hopefully that can help the numbers a little bit.
He's picking up where he left off.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I think we were a little iffy about going into this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was last year just a complete fluke?
Yeah.
Or not? And
yeah.
he's coming in. So, can I start the next one?
Yeah.
Matthew, do you have anything on Mickey?
No, not right now.
That's fine. He's been great. He's been great. So, I would like, this is one of 2 people on this list that I would like to formally apologize to. I am wrong. I could not be more wrong. And this guy has earned the leadoff spot in my eyes for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to start with that I will admit when I'm wrong, and I was extremely wrong, shocking, because everything I say on this podcast just turns out to be nothing. So, all right, sorry, you can continue.
Yep. So the player that he's talking about is Edouard Julien. And I mean, in all fairness, I'm pretty sure all 3 of us were doubters when the Rockies threw him in the lineup and in the leadoff spot. I think all of us, like when we posted that lineup, the lineup in our group chat, I think all of us are like, what is Warren Schaefer doing? Like, are we serious here? Because to start the season, Edouard Julien was not good. He was pretty rough. And I kept getting mad that he was DHing because I didn't understand the process there, the thought process, because he had been so bad. But in the last week, he hit 417, 481, 542 for a 1.023 OPS. He had a home run with 5 RBI, 3 walks to 3 strikeouts, and he also stole 2 bases. So, arguably, he's been just like that. I mean, he's been a great leadoff hitter to start for every game, because what he does is he sees a lot of pitches and he walks a decent amount. Like, he gets on base. And that's been his thing for, I think, his entire career. And that's kind of why we traded for him, was because he is a good plate discipline guy. And he can get hits when he needs to. And he, like, raked in the Astros series. He, like, absolutely raked. And so that was a lot of fun to watch. But, yeah, I mean, and having the same amount of walks as strikeouts is always nice. And so you'll love to see that.
I'm pretty sure there were like 3 of the 5 games that he let out for something where he got a hit the very first at bat of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would not shock me. I mean, he's been...
Yeah, exactly what you want to see out of your leadoff guy.
He had a 6-game hit streak.
Yeah.
He didn't hit on Sunday, but he hit every other game since Houston.
And he's not afraid to steal the bags either.
Yeah.
Which,
exactly.
With the Rockies offense and how it's kind of been so far, you need that guy on second with no outs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
He's kind of turning into what we were hoping Jake McCarthy would be.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to him a little bit later. not on the fun part, but yeah. And so that's pretty cool. And then the next 3, I would say, like, I mean, the other guys have been, Rumfeld has still been solid. Tovar's been fine. But like these three guys are the pitching side that have been very good. So Jaden Hill, who I remember saying, like, I am very high on Jaden Hill. I love Jaden Hill. I love his stuff. I've always loved his stuff. He had a great second half last year. And it got overshadowed a little bit just because the Rockies bullpen was just awful. But I mean, only 2 innings since the last time we talked about him, but no runs allowed, no hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He only allowed a run in his first appearance of the year, where he pitched 2 innings against Miami. Since then, he has been lights out. He's been absolutely dominant, and it's honestly been awesome to watch. I'm really happy, and I hope he can continue doing it. Because at this point, he's a plus-side guy. Like, he's who you want in there when we need to get some outs. And that's what he did twice in this series, was he needed to come in pretty bad situations, and he got out of it. Next up is Brennan Bernardino, trade candidate, or we traded for him, only lefty in the bullpen, and he has been nails. Like 2 1/3 innings, 0 earned runs, so it's 0 ERA, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He has been great. And again, that lefty option, obviously awesome, and it's been really nice to see him. And another guy that all of us are just eating our words on continuously until the end of time, I guess, is Antonio Senzatella, who since the last one, again, 4 1/3, no runs again, so he still has a 0 ERA, no hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. So he is still just absolutely just killing it out there, and it just makes me happy because, like, really all it took was him just not throwing his fastball 80% of the time, because that's just what he did last year, was he just threw it so much that they knew what it was coming. And now he's mixing in everything. He's got like a 6-pitch arsenal at this point. He's also hitting 98, which like he hasn't done since like 2018. And so it's just been honestly super good to watch, and I'm very happy that he is doing so well, and he's fitting in that bullpen really nicely. And I'm thinking right now, like Warren Schaefer's idea of the bullpen, having those 2 long guys with him and Dollander, it has been working great, having them in that long relief role, because they've had to come in a few times when some of the starters have struggled, or when we need a little bit of length to like give some other bullpen guys some like day off or some rest, and it's been working great. And so I like it a lot. I hope he honestly stays in the bullpen, because I think he works better in the bullpen right now, and I think you let him stay there as he still just continues to pitch really well.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and now the not as fun stuff to talk about are the who's not hot, because there's a few guys that are pretty obvious here. Unfortunately, it is my favorite player on the Rockies, one of 2. It's Jordan Beck. He's really struggling right now, and he's starting to lose playing time, which is really not good, because he was slated as the starting right fielder for the Rockies at the beginning of the season. Like, he was that starting right fielder, and he is now starting half the games if he's lucky. Since the last one, in all fairness, outside of a really good home run robbing catch that he made on Saturday, which was really cool to see, and I'm really happy that he did. But outside of that, he's hitting 125, 222, 125 for a 347 OPS, 1 RBI, 1 stolen base, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. And so he's just been not good at the plate. I mean, he only has 1 extra base hit on the season, and it was that double in Miami where we ended up getting walked off anyway. It's just been really a brutal one. And in all fairness, last year he was also he started pretty slow last year, and he got sent down. And the week that he was called up was that week that he hit 5 home runs in the week against like the Royals and Reds or whatever it was. And so maybe he needs to be sent down. Maybe he needs a little bit of that just consistent playing time down in AAA to get it going again, because right now he's not looking good at the plate. He's too aggressive at the plate, and he's just not getting results right now, and it's really hard to it's sad to watch.
Yeah, as much as I don't want him to get sent down. The Rockies do have the outfield versatility to actually do that.
Yeah.
As opposed to last year where they didn't really have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be sad to see him go back to the minor leagues, but I also wouldn't be super upset if it happened, at least short term.
Yeah.
Hopefully it would, just short term.
Yeah.
Can I play something for Jordan Beck, Tony?
Okay.
I really hope this is the right one.
Yeah.
He's not out yet. I still believe.
I'm glad that was the right sound because I honestly wasn't totally confident.
Yeah.
So
it'll be fun because the little emoji pops up on your face too, so it'll see it there too. So for the video portion of the podcast, you'll see a little face pop up on your screen. But yeah, so maybe a little trip down to AAA can help him, but we'll just have to see, and hopefully he can figure something out. Oh, man. Next up, another guy that we really like, but it's just not been it.
Ryan Sheltner.
Yeah, Ryan Feltner has been not. Ever since his first start where he looked good and then he got taken out of the game against the Blue Jays when he got hit with a line drive. Since then, he's pitched 9 1/3 innings with a 9.64 ERA. He's allowed 14 hits, 3 home runs, 5 walks to 5 strikeouts. It's just not been good. I mean, he's been falling back in a lot of the same path that he has prior, where his fastball is just very hittable, and he's just not getting enough swing and miss. Which, he has that ability. He has the swing and miss, but he's just not showing it right now. And unfortunately for him, we'll talk about it later. There's a few guys down in the minor leagues that are doing pretty well pitching-wise that probably have a chance to take that spot if the Rockies need. And so he's kind of got to right the ship pretty quick. But
yeah, I think we need to learn from history. Since I've become a fan, Ryan Feltner has been fantastic until he gets injured.
Yeah.
And then he is just cooked.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it had to happen in the first game of the year this year, so it's just extra early. But
against the Blue Jays, he was
dialed.
He was scoreless?
Yeah, he was scoreless through 3 innings, I think. He was he had 4 strikeouts in two of those innings or something.
I think it is time. I think it really... No one loves Ryan Feltner more than me, and you guys know that. I give him the benefit of the doubt every single time. But with all the other starters pitching well, outside of Lorenzen's bad start, everyone has been good. No one's given up more than 3 in an outing, which, as a Rockies guy, that's fine. You're not giving up the game. Feltner's the only one that's been giving up games, and especially against German Marquez, where the Rockies are scoring runs against.
Yeah.
That was a game where I was like, okay, let's just get this. It's German on the mound. We know what he's like. And the Rockies, for the most part, capitalized on it. They put up 3 or 4 runs on him, which is exactly what you want to do to a starter. But the Rockies need to do something about Feltner, because we'll talk about later, the guy's doing well in AAA right now. But it just kind of seems like the same old song and dance with Ryan Feltner. Getting hurt and then coming back and then being terrible. And then he never really recovers.
Yeah.
Because I think in 2023, when he got hit with that ball, I'm pretty sure that was pretty early in the season as well.
It was.
And we saw he was out for a good stretch, but he came back for a good chunk of the season and he was just never the same dude.
Yeah.
And so I think they need to make a move at some point, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, and another thing that talk with him is just the fact that he only has, I just looked it up, he has 1 minor league option left. So you could send him down 1 more time. So maybe that's soon, get things just a little more dialed in, and then he comes back. But we'll just have to see what they want to do with him, because who knows. But yeah, next up, we talked about a little bit earlier how Edward Julian has taken that leadoff spot from someone, and that someone, unfortunately, is Jake McCarthy, because he has just been not good. This is a really I think it's a really funny slash line. So he's batting 167, but his on base is 444. So he has a super crazy high on base percentage, and then his slugging is also 167. So a 611 OPS, and so because he has no RBIs, he does not have a stolen base because he's just. I don't think he's just been on base when we've gotten stolen bases, and because he has 3 walks but then 2 strikeouts, and that's been another thing that has been his issue, is he is striking out at a not at a like what's the word, like concerning amount, I would say, because he is not a guy that strikes out that much. He's coming into the season, he's a career like. I don't even know, like less than 15% strikeout guy. And so far this year, I'm looking into it right now. I'm trying to find what his strikeout percentage is. I should have had this up. Oh, I don't even know where it is. Oh, I'm on Baseball Reference. Dang it. I should have gone to Baseball Savant. I'm sorry. Who am I doing to? Jake McCarthy? Yeah. Sorry. This is terrible. Terrible podcasting from me. His strikeout percentage, it's at 19%, and that's somehow not that bad. But again, his career, he is a lot better than that. And so that's not fun to see from him, where he's just struggling so much. And so, but that's just how it goes. And then another one, this one, sorry, Matthew, we've got to talk about it a little bit.
It's okay.
It is Kyle Karros. So he's been good defensively. He's been a solid defensive player, but his offense has just not been there yet. He's also batting 167 with a 348 on base percentage and a 167 slug for a 514 OPS. He has 1 RBI, 5 walk to 4 strikeouts. And so, again, he is getting his walks. I think he leads the Rockies in walks this year, which is good. So at least he's doing something. But unfortunately, he's just not been able to do anything with the bat. Like, anything at all. I remember thinking at the beginning of the year that, like, it's kind of cruel to put him in the 9 hole, because that's kind of where he's been sitting. But they obviously know stuff that we don't, because he's been hitting like a 9 hole hitter, unfortunately. And so hopefully he can get that turned around and get it going. But that's just where he's at right now. And so, all right. Well, now we get to do something that we didn't do last week, because the minor league season had started like that weekend or whatever. It hadn't been that long. And so we get to talk about the minor leagues here for a little bit, because a few guys that I want to point out, and these are all from AAA. Maybe next week I can do a little more deep dive into some of the lower levels of the minors. But I mean, I think we've got to talk about Charlie Condon, because he's the next guy that everyone's excited about in Colorado. And he is just
polishing the minors.
He has been. He really has been. And it's been really awesome, honestly, to watch, because this was something that I think I was kind of scared of. Seeing him do so well in spring training, and then I was scared that he may not be able to replicate it into play this year, because that's kind of what like happened with Zach Veen last year. Was he was so good in spring training, but he was not that good when he came back to the regular season. But I mean, so far, Condon, he's batting 325, 438, 625 for a 1.113 OPS. With 2 doubles, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, and then a pretty decent walk to strikeout ratio of 7 walks to 11 strikeouts. And then he also does have a stolen base somehow, because speed is not exactly that dude's MO. But it's really good, and I get it that, yes, it's in the PCL in Albuquerque where offense is juiced, but I'm still happy that he's not, bad. Like, I mean, I'm not going to be mad. I can't be not happy with something like this, how good he has been. He's just crushing the ball right now. Like, I think if he were to continue doing this, and especially with someone like Beck or McCarthy struggling like they are, there's a chance that Condon can come up a lot earlier than we may have been thinking at one point this year. And so I think that'd be really cool. It would add more intrigue in the team, and that'd be cool to see. And then next, another guy that was sent down earlier this year, Ryan Ritter, has been doing really well in AAA since coming back, or getting back down there. Batting .379, 486, 621 for a 1.107 OPS. He's got a double with 2 home runs, 6 RBI, and then 3 walks to 9 strikeouts. So he's doing pretty good. And that's a guy that, like, you know, at some point he's going to probably come back up this year, and he's probably going to take he's a guy that was battling it out with Edouard Julien. And, I mean, right now there's a chance he could be battling out with Kyle Karros over at third right now, just how he's playing. And so that could be interesting. Also, he's also getting that outfield positioning as well, so he's got a chance to play a little bit of that outfield to just add to playing time that he can get. And then next up, this is the guy that I'm talking about that Feltner should be kind of scared of, is Tanner Gordon, who last year, if you guys remember, he was pretty solid near the end of the year. And so far in AAA, in 16 and a third innings, he has a 2.76 ERA, allowing 12 hits, only 1 home run, and then 15 strikeouts to 4 walks. So that's a pretty solid ratio. He has been absolutely good, like great for them right now. And I think if he has like 1 or 2 more good starts down there, like I feel like you can't just let him stay down there. I feel like you've got to bring him up, especially if Feltner is struggling like he is. I think that it just makes sense to bring someone like him up, especially because he's shown that he can pitch at the major league level. And then next up, this guy who is starting in AAA to hone his craft a little bit, and it's so far paying off, is Seth Halverson. He's pitching in his 7 and a third innings. He's got a 1.23 ERA, only allowing 3 hits. He's walked 3, struck out 7, and he's gotten 2 saves. And so he has been pretty good for them as well down in AAA. And that's awesome to see, because he is going to be that guy that can have a chance to bulk up that relieving core. And I did see earlier today that Valente Biozzo got optioned to AAA. But there has not been a corresponding move made yet, and so obviously that's going to be a pitcher. And now whether that's Halverson or Tanner Gordon or someone like that, it may be, never mind, it might be Jose Quintana coming back from the injured list. That's also possibly what it could be. Yeah. So I may have just hyped myself up for nothing, and now I'm sad. But it's okay. Like Quintana, I think, again, he's a guy that I do want to see back in that rotation for sure. But overall, those guys are doing pretty well in the minor leagues, and I'm happy with how that's going on.
Have they not put Freeland on the injured list at all?
No, so I didn't hear anything today of like what the news is with him, and I don't know if they have to just get him checked out further or what's going on. I'm hoping that it's not going to be an injury list stint. Maybe it's just he just needs a little bit more rest type of setback thing, and he can be back by his next start. But we'll just have to see what happens. I just have not heard anything, and I don't know if there's been any news on it.
I think I saw day-to-day that might have been like Thomas Harding or something like that, but that's all I saw.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
all I
probably
remember
fine.
seeing.
At least it was just a soreness and not like,
Yeah, it was.
It
wasn't during the game, so he wasn't going full strength, and something started hurting. Like it was just warming up. So
yeah, when he first started walking off the field, I was very scared that it was an elbow problem, because the way that he was walking, he was kind of gingerly holding his arm, and I was like, if it's an elbow, then it's over, dude. But it being shoulder soreness, hopefully that's a better sign. And so hopefully he can go from there and be okay. So, and so really quick next up, like we could just speed run the next series here. We have 3 in Houston against the Astros. A very depleted pitching staff for Houston right now, and they're currently on an 8-game losing streak, and so the Rockies look to just continue that. And so hopefully that's something that they can do. I think a key to this series is simply just the offense needs to just stay good. Because Houston, again, they do have a very good offense, and so the pitching will need to be solid. But I would like to see the offense come back. I'd like to see Julian and Mickey Moniak continue their thing, continue their offensive strides here. I want to see Rumfield maybe hit another home run or two. Maybe Tovar can hit one into the Crawford boxes as well, because he likes to pull the ball a lot, and so hopefully that can work out there. And then after that, I mean, got to play 3 at home at least, but against the Dodgers, and so I think we're lucky if we take a game there. The Dodgers look really good right now, which of course they're going to look good, but like they look kind of unstoppable. And
they're really the only team that looks like they look on pace right now.
Yeah.
For what we expected. Like a lot of people I think are having a lot of WBC hangover or something's going on in the MLB.
Yeah.
A lot of teams that were winning a lot and we expected to win a lot are not. Except for the Dodgers. And they're staying on track.
I agree. And so, but yep, those are the next few games coming up, and then we could do really quickly to end the show. We could do a home run battle update. Drew finally is on the board.
I'm on the board.
And so that's fun. Is this fully updated now? Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, it should be.
Okay. So the updated scores right now, if this would scroll over. It's not up on the screen, and I'm not going to do it because I don't want to. So currently, Drew is still in third, though, but with 2. So Brenton Doyle and Willie Castro got their first home runs, and so they've come through for him. I'm currently in second. Hunter Goodman and Rumfeld hit 2 more, and so that's been fun. But Mickey Moniak has just come back and absolutely carried Matthew to the first place spot here. And then Tovar, of course, having his 1 in the first series of the year. And so he's got 6 leading the way. And so, but that's where we're at right now with the home run draft. Like I said, I think I'm going to post the results of the home run draft at the first week of every month, I think is what I'm going to do. I don't really feel the need to post it every week, because otherwise it's just going to be really slow climbing. But we'll do a little bit of an update like this on the pod at least. But yeah, it's been pretty good so far. There have been more home runs than honestly I was expecting. Because if we were going off last year, we had like none. So, but yeah, it's been pretty good. But yeah, I don't know if I have anything else. We had a pretty packed show. I feel like there was a lot of stuff to talk about today. And so, but overall, good show. Does anyone else have anything to say? No? Okay. All right.
I think so.
All right. Well, as always, go Rockies, and we will see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye.